Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you another junk journal page layout in my real life junk journal that was made with papers off my desk, just sewn together with a recycled or upcycled cardboard box, just pure junk. And I've been working in this, trying to work in it in the mornings with some calming music as in support of my idea of trying to have serenity this year. We usually try to have a word of the year in January, and I made this book so that I could have calming time in the morning to just sit and work on something that isn't precious, that will, just be practice and fun and not worrying about anything other than just doing something creative. So this page has a magazine thing on it that I think was from Birds and Blooms magazine, probably a postcard that says thank you for your subscription, something like that. It's got a little hummingbird on it, and we have been watching hummingbirds. I have a couple hummingbird feeders out, and then the other day I found this YouTube channel it's somebody has a live YouTube channel from Ecuador, and it's just a camera that's facing towards some hummingbird feeders, and it has so many amazing, beautiful, bright, colorful hummingbirds that we definitely don't have here in Arizona. I think there are 7 species of hummingbirds that we could get where I live. I've only seen maybe 3 different ones coming to our feeders, and they're kind of bratty. I have 2 different feeders, kind of, maybe 10 feet apart from each other, and they just chase each other off. So there's only one bird at any time at any feeder because they won't let each other be at the same feeder. But this live stream that I was watching, or it's not even a live stream, it's a live cam. It like literally is just on all the time, I think. I mean, I haven't looked at it at night, but I think it's just on. They just put a little camera that points toward the feeders, and you can just at any time you can tune in and watch live hummingbirds. I think it's amazing. And I mean, if you need something that's just going to chill you out and calm you down, just watching some hummingbirds at a feeder flying around and looking at all the pretty colors and everything will really do the job for you. I mean, it is very calming. I know there are people who watch, like, if a zoo has one of those live streams where maybe a baby giraffe is going to be born or something like that. I know there are people who watch that type of a live, just checking up to see when the baby's born, and I've just never done that, and I was quite entertained by watching the hummingbirds in Ecuador. So I am in need of calming right now. I really do need that type of a situation. So I thought that this would be a good page to do today because it's already got the words thank you on it. And I wanted to show you because, over in Art Joy of Sharing, our art community that Peg and I run on Facebook, our theme this month is using creative lettering in your art. And I do really enjoy the graphic look of lettering. It doesn't even have to spell anything. It can just be the way the shapes are formed in letters, I think are cool. And if you connect them together and stuff, they're cool. So I was still thinking about that idea. And this word thank you, I thought, well, okay, it's already on there, but how can I integrate it into my background and my page easily? So the first thing I did was I was thinking about watching, and I was thinking about thanking those people in Ecuador with their live stream, and also just the general gratitude of being able to go outside and look at nature, because it really does inspire my art and it really does calm me down. So I've just been having a lot of anxiety, and just really stressed out. So going outside and sitting and watching the hummingbirds or watching them on the screen. My TV is one of those types of TVs that you can have YouTube on it, so you can just put them on the screen and just leave them, and you can hear the little tweety tweety tweet noises that they make and other birds in the background. So that's what this page is about, is saying thank you to those people, whoever they are. I have no idea. I can't even tell you the name of the channel. Just if you just search hummingbird live cam or something like that, you'll come up with a few different ones, because there's another one that's somewhere else and they have a lot more feeders and they have little like swings for them and stuff. And I don't know where that one even is, but I was watching the one from Ecuador because the birds are amazingly colorful, so pretty. A lot prettier than the ones here in Arizona. We have one that comes by every once in a while that's got a purple throat, and we have a couple of them that have a sparkly blue turquoise on their backs. But we also have some brown ones that are just real plain. So they are amazing birds, and it's fun to watch them. So I started with collage, and I had some of the paper that has a particular stencil on it. I was doing that 100 days of stencil girl, so every day I was trying to get a different stencil out and play with it. And I had this blue and green paper in the basket from the 100 days of stencil girl. I sort of kind of fallen off the wagon on that. I haven't made any. I was trying to get back into it, and I just haven't been successful in doing it. So even just getting in the studio and doing anything at all is hard for me right now. So I haven't done the stencils, but which is kind of disappointing because I was making so much fun paper. But I grabbed some of the paper and I put it on my background of my page, and then I filled in around the letters. But you guys will notice at the beginning, I wasn't stressing about keeping the letters the way they were. I was only thinking about being able to trace over them. So the first thing I did was put some gesso on my page. The second thing I did was put some collage on my page. And then I filled in the spaces and integrated everything with paint color that is the same color as that blue paper that I put in the sky. And I also used the stencil, brought back in the stencil and blended it out a little bit so that everything looked kind of the same, but I can still see the letters through the paint. Then I needed something as a focal image, and I thought about making a hummingbird, like a little torn paper hummingbird, but I decided instead to use this stamp that I've always really loved. This is a super old stamp from Stampin' Up. I'm sure it's long gone, but I will look on eBay and see if I can put a link on there for this stamp set. I just love this one where where the people are. It's the idea of it, I think, is that they're looking out over the ocean. I always thought it was they're sitting on the beach looking at the ocean and the sunset over the ocean. But I decided they're going to sit and watch the sunset in the mountains or in the jungle of Ecuador, maybe. So I colored the bottom part of it green instead of making it tan like I normally do. And then I'm using my Color 2 water soluble crayons, a favorite product of mine, to color this image. I stamped it with archival black ink, and I'm adding the color and then blending it with a water brush. And it gives that kind of watercolor effect, but in a real intense color type way, because you're scratching on the color onto the paper and getting a big kind of a thick layer and then blending it out. So this is a fun way to color a stamped image. If you happen to have something like this that you would want to color, you can certainly do it with your Color 2 water-soluble crayons. Mine, the tips of them are long gone. They're all pretty much rounded at this point, but it's still fine. You can just kind of tilt it to the side and use the edge and have no problem with them. So then I cut that out, and it is a lightweight cardstock. So I want to use something that will stick it down good. And I could have used my matte medium, but remember, this is water soluble. So if I put the matte medium down and go over the top, I could smear something. So what I did was to just get some craft glue, the Aleene's tacky glue, and smear that over the back, making sure I get it all the way to the edges, and then I just glued it down with that. And that way I know that that piece of cardstock is going to stick on there. I thought about glue stick, and I thought glue stick is good, but will it stick that heavy of a piece of paper down? So that's the reason that I use the craft glue. These are all things that you have to think about when you're gluing. You know, there's so many options, and one size does not fit all in the case of glue. You just really have to think about what you're using at what time. So then coming back and adding some color and tracing around these letters. So I left, as I was painting over the top of them, I left enough that I can still see and still use those letters, but it makes it look as if I drew them myself because I'm drawing over the top of them. And I wanted them to have kind of an ombre look, so I'm using a couple different colors of Posca pin. And one of them, I started out doing it with a medium Posca pin, and I believe I ruined it. I ruined my pen because I think I got some paint, and paint wasn't dry, even though I dried it with the heat tool. I went over some paint and kind of wrecked my pen. So I think one of my pens is now ruined. But I set it aside and let it dry a little bit more, and then I came back in with some other pens. And I'm going with a blue and a light blue and trying to make kind of an ombre effect. Tracing around with the fine tip pen, and then I've got some different puddles of paint over here on my scratch paper as I'm writing off the tips to make sure that everything's flowing well. And I can pick up that if it's not completely dry yet, I can pick it up with a water brush like I'm doing right here. Trying to keep the water brush fairly dry though, because I'm getting a lot of puddling. But with this type of a book made out of junk, you do have wrinkles and bumps on your pages, and you will get puddling of fluid materials. That's the reason that I tend to go towards thicker, gel, matte medium, and stuff like that. I also still have a little bit of undried paint on my palette, so if I make a little bit of a mistake, I can just come back in and touch it up. It's no big deal, if I smear something. So now I've got the thank you back on there, and now it appears as if I had drawn it and, in my own handwriting instead of using something that's already printed or cut out or whatever. And I have a black Posca pin, and I'm just, I touched up and added some lines around my people. Still working on the letters a little bit where I've smeared or anything like that, or I want it to be darker. You fuss. I mean, I could have just stopped, but did I stop? No. I fussed because that's what I do. So the black, fine tip black, I can emphasize some of the lines. I did stamp this with black, but then I colored over it with a waxy water soluble type product, and I did go over the lines. And so if I want to get some of those lines to come back out really black, I can just quickly draw over them with the black Posca pin. Then here's another thing that I like to do, and I'll try to find some other things where I've done this, but I have some die cut, some dies. I guess they're just called dies. It seems to me like that should be the kind of thing that you throw and make numbers. I'm talking about the dies, but I guess the things that you cut paper with into shapes are also called dies. So I have some that have alphabet on them, but they have the whole alphabet on one die. And so it's not easy to just get the letters that you need. And you always end up with all these extra letters that are ones that you don't need. And so I often just throw them in a little cup or something, thinking I'm going to use them later, but they don't spell anything. There's a Q and a K and a V. I mean, they don't spell anything. W-U-K-V, I don't even know. So sometimes I just like to use them as graphics. And so I just put some matte gel medium on there, and I'm picking up these little tiny cutout letters and just piling them up because this is the jungle and there would be lots of viney, jungly things, right? So I just thought they added something to the page. Very abstracted, jungly, viney things, trees, um, something, I don't know. And they seem to be about the same width as these lines from this stencil, so they just blend it all in. I thought it was fun. They happen to be green, which is the same color as the background. So, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. So I used up a pile of those silly letters. They've been in a cup on my desk forever. Don't even know what they're from at this point, but I know that I cut something out to make a word, and then I had all the leftovers. So then I came back in with my crayons again and my water brush, and I'm trying to I decided that the center of the O must be the sun, and it's going down behind the mountains, and these people are sitting watching it and being very grateful that they are alive in this beautiful world where they can see nature whenever they just go outside. Or maybe they're on vacation. Maybe they're in Ecuador on vacation. I don't know who they are, but they are watching. So I decided I would put a little bit more color in the sky to make it look like there might be a sun going down behind the mountains, peaceful and calm, and just, the gratitude. The whole idea behind the page is the gratitude of being alive and being able to see nature. So I'm grateful. I hope you're grateful too. I mean, some of you live in a city and it's maybe not as easy to go outside and see nature. You might have to go away from your high rise or your, apartment where you live. But for me, I can go outside and see the desert, and definitely not Ecuador, but I can look on YouTube and see Ecuador and the hummingbirds. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Turn on your notification. And of course, you can also join my channel membership for $1.99 a month and get exclusive content coming out on the 15th. So, yeah, you can see all the exclusive content that came before this month too. If you sign up, you could get all of it, which is pretty amazing. So I'm just finishing up with the last of my fussing with the letters again. And this page in my junk journal made out of junk is just about done. So that's it for me for today. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, yes. And also I will put some links to the stencil and the crayons and whatever down below, because people have asked me to. I've gotten real lazy about doing it, but I'm going to do it now. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.